Welcome back to Real Talk, episode 191. I'm your host, Nathan. I'm joined by the man himself, Matthew Neves. And today we are going to be reviewing Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning.
The Final Reckoning. It's the last one.
It's the eighth one.
It's the eighth
last
one. 30 years, man. They've been doing this for 30 years. Tom Cruise is crazier than ever. He's got everything, and he's showing it all in the big screen. Before talking about the last one, I think we can do a quick little recap of the franchise as a whole.
Sure.
What we think of it, what we thought of it. I kind of like most of them.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest. I think the franchise as a whole is a perfect 6.5 out of 10. If I had to rate it as a franchise,
I'm okay with that.
6.5, maybe 7. I like some better than others. The only ones I didn't really like were 2 and 3.
Yeah.
2 is kind of long and boring. It has some stupid action that I like, but overall, I'm not a fan of any of the characters. Ethan's kind of unlikable in that one. Ethan Hunt.
Yeah.
I don't really like his character in that one.
Yeah, John Woo tried something different. I don't think it really worked.
No, not
But
really.
to be fair to John Woo, like this franchise didn't really now we know what the franchise identity is, and that film felt very different from it.
Well,
looking back, but at the time, I mean, it was a sequel, so he just tried a little something different, and it didn't really work.
No, exactly, and it made a lot of money at the box office too. It's
Right.
not like it didn't. I mean, I'm just comparing it to De Palma, dude.
Oh,
Where,
of course.
Brian De Palma, man. People forget the first one felt so stylistic because of him.
Nobody talks about Brian De Palma editing or directing the first one.
Yeah.
At all.
It was directed by De Palma, written by David Koepp, who we talked about on Black Bag. He's been writing for a long fucking time and really good screenwriter. And it's this was a Tom Cruise vehicle that could have been complete dog shit, if not for that.
100%.
And
I see all these interviews for this movie, these press junkets and everything. Nobody brings up De Palma, at all.
I think I saw one interview where it did, and Cruise was like, yeah, man, he was like a hardworking guy. He fucking took a whole day, if not 2 days, for one spectacle sequence, an action explosion or whatever. And that's because he wanted it to look good. This was back when ILM was still a new thing. So that train sequence, it was a lot of fucking work to do, and it's so iconic. I still think about that train, or whatever, the helicopter hitting and stuff.
Very impressive.
Oh, man.
It's very impressive, yeah.
Yeah.
It's some of De Palma's best action.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
And it sucks that, you kind of lose that director vision in the later installments because it just is directed by Christopher McQuarrie, I believe his name
exactly. I think this was his fourth mission film.
Yeah, that he directed.
Correct.
But he worked on them since Ghost Protocol.
Oh, okay. So he's just been a part of the franchise, attached to the franchise, and putting his style on the franchise for a while now. But this is his fourth directed one.
Exactly.
Feels very similar to
the other
last 4 we've seen.
Yeah. And you look at the first 3 Mission Impossibles, and whether you like more of them or not, the first 3 feel so director driven.
Sure.
First one is a De Palma film. Second one is John Woo. Absolutely. Third one is an Abrams film. It felt like a J.J. Abrams film.
Yeah.
Because of the writing. Because I saw the third one, I was like, this just kind of feels like Force Awakens, but Mission Impossible. Oh, Ethan has a wife now? Okay. Well, there's drama, I guess, but
the love interests in the franchise have always been interesting to me.
You know who the only good one I would say is? Rebecca Ferguson.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%.
That was the one that I was like, oh, I kind of actually feel something between them.
Yeah, exactly. No fault to the other actresses. It's more just
writing.
It's just writing. It's
writing and direction.
They never really wrote in a good love interest.
No, I really felt bad for the love interest in the third one because not only does he get fucking married and shit like that, but she kind of just gets trailed off as the franchise comes along, and it's just wow, they really didn't know what to do with her. And she really falls flat because I think the last time you see her is Fallout. Because she already has a husband and she moved on. And it's well, I guess there's closure there. But then that's what I mean is once you hit Rogue Nation, once you hit Fallout felt like the end to Mission Impossible. But then Cruise realized he made a shit ton of money. So now we're getting this epic double feature that's known as Dead Reckoning Part 1. Now just called Dead Reckoning, and this is called Final Reckoning. It's this insane double feature that costs around $800 million. And I think a lot of the budget came from the fact that Top Gun Maverick made a shit ton of money for Paramount, and they're just kind of well, fuck yeah, we're gonna give you as much money as you want, Mr. Cruz. Mr. Cruz will
Yeah.
will make it the best film that you want, you know? And this is what we led to, despite the fact that I don't think it's gonna make its money back.
Well,
What do you
here's
think?
the situation. When you put yourself behind the 8 ball and spend 400 million on a film, a movie that makes 500 million worldwide, which is what it's made so far,
Yep.
is considered a bomb.
Yep.
You're setting yourself up to have to make damn near $1 billion
Mhm.
for this to be a very big profitable success.
Right.
We've lost the plot here.
Yeah,
That's not gonna happen.
it's not gonna happen, but at the same time, it does fall into like this Arctur theory, especially from Cruz's case, where it's just like I don't think he cares.
No.
He's at that position where this is his production, by the way. Cruz
Right.
has produced all the films of Mission Impossible, and he's like one of those guys that kind of started this worldwide appeal by going to premieres outside of the States.
Yeah.
That wasn't a thing before him, which I found out recently. It was like, no, he was doing like foreign press runs in like Japan and Morocco, everywhere, or something like that. And I'm thinking he wants it to be shown everywhere and just have his style, despite the fact that this film is so expensive. There's no fucking way it's going to make $1 billion. None of the Mission Impossible films have made $1 billion.
No.
Highest grossing one made 700 million.
Exactly.
So the math doesn't add up.
Yeah, they kind of set themselves up like you're right. It has to be just a matter of like, no, I want to make one more. Like, you know,
Mhm.
Tom being like, I want to make one more.
Yeah.
I obviously I don't think they planned initially to spend 400 million.
Of course not.
The budget balloon for sure.
Yeah.
But when you do, yeah, you put yourself in a position where close to $1 billion is a profitable film, and that's ridiculous, especially with
Yeah.
this worldwide press tour that they go on,
I know,
which they spend
man.
a ton of money on.
That's another thing. It's not like they're doing it for free. It's not like they're getting this opportunity for free. They have to pay for that as well, and bringing all the actors in and having them all like, you know,
Yeah.
it's so much. But at the same time, like this movie looks good. This
Oh,
movie is
the
just,
money's on screen.
That's
There's
what I
no
mean.
doubt about it.
Yeah, it's not like I can say there's a ugly looking Mission Impossible film. The writing has always been the most scattered.
Oh, yeah.
Out of the franchise, you know, Cruise's performances too. Like you're not looking at Ethan Hunt as much as the series goes on. You're looking at Tom Cruise this close to dying.
Yeah.
And it's the most apparent in these last two films. I saw Dead Reckoning. I don't know if you saw
Yeah.
Dead Reckoning as well.
Yeah.
And I felt that exposition right away, more so than the other ones.
Yes, I agree.
This was the one where it was like, okay, we're going to establish 12 different characters in this movie, and we're going to do it in an airport, and we're also going to do expository dialogue, and we're going to make it the most epic thing imaginable. And right away, I'm like, no.
It was too much because
Yeah.
they were trying to set up both of these movies
Yeah.
all in that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was too much. It felt like, I don't know, it started to feel like they just started to just only build the plot around the stunt that he wanted to do.
I kind of agree with that. I really do think it's like, how can we bring this set piece in? How can we bring that
Yeah,
set piece? You know,
exactly.
because a lot of these character moments, you kind of lose a lot of it. You know, Haley Atwell doesn't really have a character in this movie. She doesn't really have a character in both movies. Sorry, Dead Reckoning and Final Reckoning. She's just in it, and then
I'd
she
argue-
becomes the fourth, fifth love
Yeah,
interest.
I'd argue that Ethan Hunt is barely a character in these movies.
Yeah.
There's no arc. He's not learning shit.
Yeah.
He's not changing at all. And he has to a little bit.
Yeah.
I get that, you know, we're building him up in these movies to almost be a superhero.
Right.
There's no other way to explain what he gets away
Borderline.
with. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's borderline on a superhero. But like he needs to learn something from every near-death experience and I think grow as a character. I don't see that here at all.
It's because they've lost a lot of the drama
Yeah.
from this franchise. You can't bring his wife back. You can't bring Rebecca Ferguson back because she died in Dead Reckoning. Dead Reckoning she died in. So that was like his motivation even higher. The only thing you can do is have Ethan say, I don't want to lose my friends.
Yeah.
It is Vin Diesel.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's a more glorified Vin Diesel archetype of the Fast and Furious films. The only difference is Vin Diesel does not have the cojones to do what Tom Cruise is doing in these films.
No. But this movie, more than any, really did feel like it had the shell of a Fast and Furious film,
Yeah, I
but
agree.
with just action that paid off. Like,
Mhm.
you know, set pieces that I was actually amazed by.
Yeah.
And some of the most impressive stunt work in action I've seen in film ever.
And that's most of the Mission Impossible films. Obviously, I think Final Reckoning is the best one in terms of that.
Yeah.
In terms of its stunt work, in terms of its practical, in terms of blending both the CG and practical effects to the point where you don't even think about it.
It was seamless, man.
So seamless, and I love that. The problem I'm thinking of now is like, yeah, you don't have a lot of the clear direction anymore. You just want to see the spectacle, and I don't think Cruise cares anymore. You know, if Cruise really wanted this to feel more impactful, he should have died.
Oh yeah. It should have been
My
it should have been like James Bond,
my
like the
main
Daniel
issue,
Craig
yeah, exactly. No
ending.
Time to Die.
I thought I was expecting a No Time to Die
Yep.
ending of this film, and
Yep.
instead I got a very bad bookend to this franchise. I thought it
Yeah,
was like
it felt like they wanted to make more.
yeah, you're right. It was they didn't have the balls
Nope.
to actually end it
Mhm.
definitively.
Yep.
It felt like maybe it'll make $1 billion.
Fuck
That's
that.
what it felt like.
I did not like that. I have a similar issue with Top Gun Maverick. I love that movie. Maverick should have died. Maverick should have died. What should have happened was Rooster should have ejected and survived, and then Maverick sacrifices himself.
Yeah.
I would have felt more emotional. I would have given it 10 out of 10. But because Cruise is too egotistical, he wants to remain alive because the good guys always win.
The good guys always win.
And we have issues with the movie, but we're going to praise more of it later on. Another issue I have with Final Reckoning is it treats the CIA, it treats the government like the biggest grandiose thing of all time. Like when they're revealing all the people in suits and stuff with the filing cabinet and stuff, it's like, oh my God, it's the craziest thing
Right.
ever. Angela Bassett's the president. She's just like, I trust you, Ethan,
Yeah.
to save the world from explosion. It's like, I don't know. When does it become too much? Like you drink so much of the Kool-Aid, how much is there left, you know?
Oh, I completely agree, man. It was too much of that shit.
Yeah.
It was too much of people standing around in circles giving exposition,
Mhm.
especially in this first hour of this movie, which
Yeah.
I think is terrible.
First out, yeah.
The combination of nostalgia bait and exposition in the first hour of this movie had me looking at my watch.
Yeah. The worst, you wanna know the worst nostalgia bait was? The cop guy who was chasing Ethan in Dead Reckoning. I thought he was a cool character.
Yeah.
You know, out of the 20 that were introduced.
Right.
I really liked him because he was like a no-nonsense cop, but he doesn't want to kill Ethan. He's like, no, like, he's not a bad guy.
Right.
I want to see what he can do and stuff. And then you find out in Final Reckoning, he's like, hey, remember John Voight in the first one? That's my dad. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck are we doing here? We've lost the plot.
I know.
When they shake when they shake hands at the end and stuff, I'm like, I don't feel anything anymore because it just feels like you want to connect every single dot.
So unnecessarily though. Like focus on a few
Yep.
and build the relationship, build the stakes, build the emotion. Like this first hour is brutal.
Yeah.
And I think the first good scene you get in this movie is the Ving Rhames scene.
Yeah. Oh, they killed my boy Luther.
Luther. This is the height of emotion in this movie. It's
Yeah.
the most emotional moment in this movie
Yep.
by far. We are not even close to the climax.
No, of course not.
And and the emotion is all spent. From here on, it's all disappointment.
I kind of don't even like Luther dying in this because of the fact that nobody else does. He dies in a movie where nobody else dies.
I know. The only character from the first one.
Mhm.
And if you want to do the open-ended ending,
Yeah.
why not keep Luther around?
Mm-hmm.
It felt like, we just need some emotion.
He's a way better character than Ethan Hunt in all the films.
I completely agree.
Him, I'll tell you my favorite Mission Impossible characters in the franchise. All right. And guess what? Top 3, none of them are Ethan Hunt. All right. Ethan Hunt is like the least interesting character. of all of these movies. It's the
No.
people he interacts with that makes it's kind of like Batman in a way. The
Yeah.
villains are more interesting than Batman himself at times.
You're right.
Luthor is one of my favorites. Philip Seymour Hoffman in Mission Impossible
Oh.
3, best villain.
Best villain.
Best villain. And he's only in it for 6 minutes.
Is it only 6 minutes?
He's in it so briefly, dude. It sucks, man.
This movie is missing a Phillip Seymour Hoffman villain.
Here's the thing, though. I don't hate the actor they got to play the villain.
No, I don't hate him either. He's not bad.
No.
Isai Morales, who plays Gabriel.
Yo, shout out to him. I remember him from La Bamba, man. He played Richie's brother. Sorry, go
shit.
on. Yeah.
He's not the problem.
No.
The problem is the entity, this AI antagonist
Right.
that sucks.
Yeah.
It literally feels like a ripoff of the God's Eye from Fast and Furious, which is
Yeah.
already bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's a villain that's not tangible.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I have a hard time with the stakes of it,
Mm-hmm.
ever feeling like anybody's in real danger. And here's another problem as to like what you said as well before. The Kool-Aid, we've drank too much of it.
Yeah.
Man. So it's like, I never feel like Tom Cruise is in any real danger in any of this, right?
Yeah. They should have gone with, because I understand what they're trying to go for, or at least Tom Cruise is going for, because AI is big now.
Yeah.
AI is arguably bigger than it was 10 years ago, which is...
Oh, of course. It's not arguably, I think.
Yeah. So Tom Cruise is like, what, 63? So his view of AI is like this. He's like, oh my God, it's going to take over the world. We're all going to be AI generated. They're going to have Tom Cruise AI generate Top Gun 56.
Right.
I don't want that. You want the real deal. You want me. That's what Cruise is saying when he's illustrating the entity, or at least the filmmakers.
Yeah.
And he's with that. He's like, yeah, fuck AI. I'm on the plane. You can't AI generate this shit, man. That's what he's thinking in his head, because
You're right.
at a certain point, you know, I respect it. I respect authenticity.
Sure.
I feel like this movie should have directed more to authenticity, but it doesn't. It just goes for aesthetic.
Yeah.
It loses the authenticity and just goes for pure aesthetic of being like, hey, look, I can jump off a cliff. You don't need to AI generate that. This is the real deal. That's why you paid money for this. And it's like, yeah, but why are you jumping, Ethan? Why are you having another relationship with Haley Atwell? Why are you still doing this? Why are you keeping going? Like, you got to do more than just write a sentence explaining it, you know, especially if you're on the 8th installment. That's where I lose the plot too. I agree. And I feel like Gabriel, the villain, is kind of a breath of fresh air, because he reminds me of like the early villains, because especially now he's a fucking cartoon villain.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
His scenes are great.
Yeah.
The problem is a lot of it doesn't make much sense.
He's not in it as much as I wanted him to.
He's not in it enough to really have conflict with Ethan.
Exactly.
He's really not. Like,
even though they
like,
try to with the
like,
flashback, dude.
Yeah. But they have like 2 face-to-face encounters.
Exactly.
It's very brief.
Yeah.
The entity sucks.
It does.
And the pacing of this movie is garbage.
Yep.
It's garbage. I cannot believe the runtime of this movie. I saw a 10:30 showing.
Oh, you saw a 10.
I saw a 10:30 of this movie, and I was in the parking lot of the movie theater
Yep.
at 1:50 a.m.
Yep. Same.
That did I sign up to watch Lawrence of Arabia? There's 2 incredible action set pieces in this movie.
Yeah.
Make it 90 minutes and make those half of it.
Yep. I agree.
And I'm like, oh, great. Fun, quick, style, whatever. Ethan Hunt, do some nostalgia bait, and let's get out.
Mm-hmm.
You guys know the plot's paper thin.
Yep.
You guys know you wrote this plot around these set pieces.
Right.
So shorten it.
Mm-hmm.
Why was that so hard? Like, I don't understand the runtime at all. Like, it's not even like I think it's 40 minutes too long. I think it's an hour and 40 minutes too long.
Okay, I wouldn't say an hour. I'd say an hour. You can cut an hour of this movie. My point, I agree with all of that, because like the first Mission Impossible film was 110 minutes. That's perfect.
A perfect runtime.
Mission Impossible film should not be more than 2 hours and 10 minutes. I'll give them 2 hours and 10 minutes at least.
Even that's pushing it.
Fallout was good.
Yeah.
Fallout and Rogue Nation knew the runtime and knew because I felt more like when I remember the scene with Henry Cavill and Tom Cruise fighting at the edge of the bridge. I felt way more emotion from that.
For sure.
Because you see them in the movie. You see their arcs. You see the risk that they're all taking. They're almost at the brink of their fucking death.
Yeah.
That's great. But when you do it so many times, like Benji almost dying in this, I'm like, dude, you've been almost dying since like part 5, dude. Like, I'm sorry, but
I know.
Same with Ving Rhames. Like, these guys have almost been dying for the last 3 movies, and I'm not convinced.
I know.
I'm not. I'm still not convinced Ving Rhames actually died. If they made a 9th one, I wouldn't be surprised if he just showed up out of nowhere.
They
like,
just pull a Han?
yeah, why not?
This literally is turning
You
into
don't
Fast and
see
Furious,
you don't
man.
see his body.
You don't.
Yeah. Hey, Ethan, I hacked my body. I was able to resurrect myself. Jesus Christ. I mean, how different is it than the 50 trillion megabyte thing that Luther creates on his deathbed?
Yeah.
That's what happens, guys. And people say, "Oh, it's stupid," but it's fun. It's like you can say the exact same excuses for the Marvel films. You could say the exact same excuses for the Fast and Furious films. When is it like how many things can we excuse until we're just like, I'm not watching this again. I'll watch a scene from it.
Oh, I'll watch a few scenes from this
Yeah.
over and over again.
But not the full fucking movie.
That's the problem. The problem is what I love about this movie, I could watch in a 20-minute YouTube video.
You're more negative towards do you like all the films, or do you like
I think what you said about like when this franchise is at is firing, I think it's a 6.5.
yeah.
I think you maybe think it's firing a little bit more than me. So I think my probably franchise average is probably closer to like a 5.
Okay, what's your favorite out of the 8 then?
I like 1 a lot because I
Yep.
love De Palma.
De Palma's great, yeah.
And I thought Fallout was really good too.
Fallout was good. Okay, cool. I like those films.
And I like 3 because of Phillip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, but he's in it so briefly. It sucks, man. Like, he's great in it. I'm
It's
not to say
memorable.
yeah.
Yeah.
He makes a lot of those scenes very memorable. I would say Ghost Protocol. I really fuck with Ghost Protocol. That was the one where I was like, because after 3, the way it ends, I'm just like, okay, what do you do after this? And then Ghost Protocol is like, Ethan's in prison. They gotta break
that's
him out.
true.
And
I
I'm
guess
like,
most people like Ghost Protocol a lot.
Ghost Protocol is pretty fucking solid. I like Brad Bird's direction, and then Rogue Nation is probably my favorite. That was the one that I felt like gave enough character to Ethan where I'm like, oh, I kind of give a shit about you. While also the story progresses and the runtime was good. I'm like, solid. It kind of reminded me of a more flashier version of what the show was back in the day.
Right.
Because the show was just episodic, like your mission, should you choose to accept it. Perfect. That's what Tom Cruise did with Rogue Nation. And then they started getting bigger and bigger.
True. Yeah, I'm going off like a 2010s memory of a lot of these movies. So
Fair enough.
maybe with a rewatch, like I wouldn't feel that way. I'm just kind of thinking about what stuck out to me when I had originally seen them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of have similar thoughts to like John Wick in terms of just like, I like them, but I don't think the franchise is like 8, 9 out of 10 overall.
No, I don't either. I don't either.
With John Wick and Mission Impossible, but I can't like disagree with the fact that like there are so many good moments in this movie. Like there's a shot in this movie where Ethan is underwater. I'm saying Ethan, it's just Tom Cruise. But
Right.
whatever. He's underwater and he's passed out, and it's like that wide shot blue and
It's
stuff.
beautiful.
And then Haley Atwell kisses him, and it's like that fade shot. I'm like, that's style.
Oh yeah.
I wanted more of that.
Yeah. And that whole submarine sequence,
Dude.
I was locked into the film. Incredibly impressed. Like,
Yeah.
my mouth was open for a
Mhm.
majority of that sequence when he's going into the different rooms. They're filling up with water. The thing's spinning. So
Yeah.
the whole set's rotating.
Insane.
It's insane. It's shot so well,
Mm-hmm.
and the suspense is there.
It's great. There is a point though where a lot of people have talked about it with Tom Cruise, where it's like, are you just literally watching a man struggle to this close to death? Because I got that feeling when he was taking the suit off.
Yeah.
I'm like, he is 63 years old. Should I be watching that? You know, where he's like, I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
you know what it reminded me of? It's like those Jackass scenes. It's like, hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville. I'm
Right.
gonna get a bowling ball hit in my dick or whatever. And it's like, but imagine that scene, but it lasts 3 minutes. And I'm like, I don't want to see.
I know. It's like too real. Like this brother's not acting. You can't act. Like this is, this is all happening.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is not acting. This we're watching this man struggle.
Exactly. You know, that's the thing about it too, is like acting versus I need to survive. You know, that plane sequence, there's no harnesses, there's no nothing. He literally just jumps off on another plane.
No, that plane sequence is so dumb.
But it's so crazy. I will stand by it. It's like watching Cirque du Soleil. I fucking love
Oh
it.
no, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. It's dumb.
It's dumb, but it's dumb good. Like
It's dumb good, yeah.
I completely it's here's why it's dumb, because the antagonist is fucking flying away
Yep.
from Tom Cruise,
Yep.
who has what he needs.
Yeah, I know.
And he's just like, oh, he'll come to me. He'll come to me. That's dumb.
Well, that's the entity plot, and it's basically saying this script will work towards Ethan because the entity knows that. It's like, that's when I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Okay, so you're saying AI knows how this movie's gonna end.
Yes.
It's the Thanos, there's only one.
All right.
It's like, okay, then where's the drama? Where's that? But at least in Marvel's case, they wiped out half the people. So it's
Yeah.
like, well, fuck, I guess I'll have to watch the next one. Whereas in this case, it's like, you don't have that. You just have bad writing.
Yeah.
You don't have that excuse.
But the plane sequence is beautiful, man.
It's great. I liked how Gabriel died.
But even just like visually when it starts,
Yeah.
the visuals of the red plane, the yellow
Yeah.
plane, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe how long it was, like how they kept that going, and
Yeah.
all the things that happen up there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many days did this take to film,
Right.
and how the hell did they pull this off? I just kept asking myself, how the hell did they pull this off? They would cut to these wide shots that I'm like, there's just no way to.
And it looks beautiful too.
It's incredible. It's some of the best stunt work. It's probably the most impressive stunt I've ever seen
Yeah.
in film history.
Absolutely. I mean, here's the thing too. It's like, if Jackie Chan was born much later, around Tom Cruise's age, dude, I'm just saying. Because I remember watching old Jackie Chan films like Police Story. And I was thinking about Police Story while watching this, actually, because of obviously Jackie Chan's stunt work. In my opinion, I think he's a better performer at that than Cruise is. Cruise is more just like, I'm all in, you know, I'm all in. Whereas Jackie Chan's like, no, but I know how to fight.
Yeah.
Like, I actually know how to do a lot of this shit. So in Police Story, or those movies at least, you see Jackie Chan like beat up. Like, those scars are real.
Yeah, 100%.
And all that shit. Cruise has never really gotten that through the movies.
No, he's not getting beat up. He's just doing life or death shit. Like, it's either you survive this or get like squashed, you know, or just drown. So it's not like that Jackie Chan kind of stunts where he's falling off buildings or like, you know, falling off the clock tower or shit like that.
Cruise needed a moment like that in one of these films.
Yeah.
The clock tower scene where he like slides in and stuff like that. He sees the villain, zoom in on him. But you don't really get that. And that reminded me as well. What was the last movie that Tom Cruise's character died in that you remember? I know mine.
I don't know.
Collateral.
Oh, yeah.
21 fucking years ago.
Yeah, that's got to be it. That might be the only one I could think of.
What a great death scene that was. I'm thinking Interview with a Vampire as well, but you know.
Oh, I didn't see that.
My point is, like, that's the last time people have seen Tom Cruise in a movie die. And I'm like, just take a chance, dude.
I'm hoping that that's the next step of his career.
You think he's going to keep on doing action? Maybe one or two.
Probably one or two. Yeah. I think. But you know, with every movie, it's becoming more apparent. Like I'm watching Michael Jordan on the Wizards. He's not on the. He's not on the Bulls anymore.
No, this is
he's pretty old. There's glimpses of greatness, but when you think about it, it's getting kind of sad and ridiculous.
Top Gun Maverick, I'd say, was his last season in the Bulls.
I know exactly, and I think this is like him not knowing when to kind of call it quits.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like it should be the last one. It was incredibly impressive, but. Yeah, you feel like you're watching Michael Jordan on the Bulls. You feel like you're watching John Cena's retirement tour, which is also happening right now.
It is happening.
He's a step slow. He's still John Cena, but I think it's time to go and pivot. And you know, I hear talks about him wanting to do a spinoff from his Tropic Thunder character.
I mean, I'd watch it, dude.
I would love to see
Les Grossman. Yeah,
like it sounds funny to think that he would he would have even entertained that. But
Yeah.
that's a good step. It's back to showing some range, no?
I agree. I mean, look, dude, are we ever gonna get the Magnolia Eyes Wide Shut days of Tom Cruise?
I don't think so.
That's what I mean. Like, I love those fucking movies, and that's like that was back when he was acting.
Yeah.
Like, really
Oh,
acting.
for sure.
I think the last time he was really acting was like Collateral.
Yeah.
That was like the end of it. It was like, okay, I'm done. I played a villain. That was nuanced. Now I'm fucking I'm gonna do Mission Impossible 4 now. And
He's
it's like
acting in Magnolia. And
Oh, he's so good.
acting in Eyes Wide Shut.
he's acting in Born on the 4th of July with
Mhm.
Oliver Stone directing. Like, there was a time where Cruise was in a lot of shit, and it was like Color of Money, Scorsese.
Oh, yeah.
He's great in that.
100%.
Him and Paul Newman, like I want him to do a Color of Money type of movie, but with a younger actor, you know?
I don't know if he's down for that. I feel like he's built himself up to be this like superhero on and off the screen,
Yeah.
and I don't know if he's ready. To me, like that would be such an awesome direction for him to go. I think everybody would get on board with it too.
Absolutely. He could get an Oscar if he really wanted to. Dude, if he's as dedicated to jumping off a fucking plane, he could get an Oscar for a good performance, man. Like,
Easily.
I don't understand.
Easily.
What was your favorite cameo from this movie? There's like 50,000 characters in this.
Oh my, there's too many. That's another problem, right? It's too many characters. Did you have a favorite cameo? I don't know. Like I don't even know if I had one.
What was the actress who was speaking in French? Do you know what her name was?
Oh no.
She wanted revenge over Gabriel because he double crossed her in the last movie.
Right.
Guess what her name is?
What is it?
Paris. She speaks French. I fucking love these movies, man. If you want to talk dumb, that's
I
pretty
don't
funny.
remember character names at all.
I don't remember either. I'm looking it up, by the way, guys. All right, the only ones I know are Ethan Hunt. All right, you
Yeah.
got Luther. You got Benji. Benji's been there since like the third one.
Yeah, that's literally all I know. The rest of them, I literally, gun to my head, could not tell you.
Shout out to the extra from the first one. They brought him back. He's got an emotional character arc for some reason.
Wow, they really tried that, eh? It's very apparent in this movie that like, you know, that has become, you know, the scene of him suspended has become the most iconic scene in the whole franchise.
Yeah.
Because they play it like maybe 3 times in this movie.
They fun fact, guys, in this 2-hour and 50-minute Mission Impossible film, you're gonna see 5 minutes of the first one.
Yeah.
Basically.
100%.
Dude, they even brought up Mission Impossible 3 with the plot of the rabbit's foot.
I know.
And I'm just thinking in my head, it's like, well, because it was written by J.J. Abrams. That was the only film where they didn't explain what it was doing.
Yeah.
Because it's
So they're
J.J.
like-
Abrams.
They really are trying to wrap up a bunch of bullshit we don't care about and forget to just like make a plot to this movie. Like we don't care what the rabbit's foot was.
You know, if they wanted to connect everyone, Luther should have been like, Ethan, before I die, I gotta tell you something. And it's like, what? It's like, I'm your second cousin. And then his fucking blows up. It's like, I knew it. Luther, why didn't you tell me?
That would be great.
Nick Offerman's in this
Yeah. Nick Offerman is in this.
for 2 minutes. He plays one of the generals. I liked
Oh,
him.
I hated all the president stuff though.
No, that whole thing was just like it is basically just Michael Bay, but at least Michael Bay fucking whip hands every 2 seconds when it gets boring. So
Yeah.
you watch Armageddon, you're like, oh, it's all boring, but hey, it cuts to Bruce Willis and it's fine. It does feel like Michael Bay at times with that army shit, the CIA operatives, right?
For sure. Felt like such a 2010s like
Yeah.
Michael Bay shit.
You know, we could go on all day about how fucking long this movie is. I went to see this in 40X. Have you ever seen a movie in 40X, Nathan?
40X. No.
Do you know what 40X is?
Which
All right.
one is that?
This is what I found out. I told Christian this already. Fuck me, dude. So one of my buddies was like, hey, let's see this in 40X. I was like, sure. I've never done it. We sit there and the movie's starting and it's like, welcome to 40X. Boom. I'm like, oh, my seat shook. I can't even eat popcorn. Okay, that's how strong the seats are. It's stronger than D-Box. So I'm like, okay, I'm putting my popcorn down. I can't eat or drink. It's like,
What, you're just vibrating for for 2 hours and 47 minutes?
yeah. Every action scene.
Oh, that's
No,
brutal.
imagine every action scene. I'm like this.
You're on the plane with Tom?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no. Every plane scene, keep in mind, every plane scene, they have fans. to mimic the wind. So I'm feeling a breeze. I'm like, where the fuck is that breeze coming from? I noticed there's like 6 fans on the right side, 6 fans on the left side. I'm like, oh shit, what's next? Every explosion that happens, they have a smoke machine in the front theater, so the smoke is hitting. But when that happens, I can't even see the frame of the movie because of how strong the smoke is.
Oh my god.
So,
I
yeah.
don't even think they offer 40X at Queensway. where I
It's only
usually
in
go.
Yonge and Dundas and Winston Churchill. So you're either going downtown Toronto or fucking Oakville. And I was like, I'll take the Oakville one, I guess.
I need to experience that one time. That sounds like a nightmare.
It is.
Especially for a movie this freaking long. It must have felt like an absolute eternity for you.
My buddy was like, I think I'm gonna fucking throw up. And you know when he said that? It was the first fight between Ethan in the prison when he's like handcuffed and stuff, and Haley Atwell too. He's like, I think I'm gonna throw up. Like, dude, this is the first fight.
Bro.
This is the first fight. You're fucked, dude.
It was fucked an hour in.
So at a certain point, it's like, I guess you can like stand up and just like watch it standing up.
Oh my god, that is terrible.
Paid $30 a ticket.
Wow. That's brutal.
I wanted to bring that up just because out of all the films we could see in 40X, we chose Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, the one with the most action, I would say.
Yeah.
And this is what we dealt with.
Wow, that's insane.
Tom Cruise said, "This is cinema," and it truly was. I thought I was going to get a heart attack at the end of it.
He saved us all, didn't he? Yeah, so overall, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. I was not satisfied with the plot of this movie, the conclusion of this franchise. I thought it was a cop-out.
Yeah.
They didn't want to commit to anything.
No.
And they thought sequences first, plot second. It's very, very apparent. And that's what I expect from this franchise. But at the same time, the bar needs to be higher than this.
Yeah.
If you're going to spend $400 million, make sure that a good script is included.
I feel like this film is the representation of Cruise becoming Icarus.
Yeah.
He truly did go too close to the sun.
Yeah.
He thought he could build better wings by going on a plane. That was not the case. I think aesthetically speaking, there are some sequences that are 10 out of 10
Jaw-dropping.
in a 4 to 5 out of 10 plot. I'll be generous.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 5 out of 10 plot, which is why my overall rating is a generous 6 out of 10, 3 out of 5 stars. I'm being generous because nobody's doing this.
I have the same rating, and it is generous. And the reason, it's hard for me to rate a movie like this because I'm like, there's 2 set pieces in this film
Yeah,
that are literally the most impressive I've ever seen in film.
exactly. Like,
But then the plot is a 4 out of 10.
yeah.
So it's like most impressive shit I've ever seen, less than mid. How do I stack those against each other for a rating? And I fall at 6 out of 10 because of how impressed I was by the action, but it left a lot more to be desired, and it's kind of it's not a great ending to a franchise. But most franchises don't end well anyway.
Exactly. If you want to watch like the best Mission Impossible films, I'd say watch the first one, obviously, watch Rogue Nation, and watch Fallout. I would say those are the best 3 in the franchise. And yeah, Tom Cruise, we want you to do an RDJ Oppenheimer. Do it. Do it, coward. Please.
Well, let us know what you thought of Mission Impossible Final Reckoning in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe to your boys. It means the world to us. And most importantly, do not forget to take care, brush your hair. Peace.